On my way. Break or anything? Yeah, this is totally off. Look, the camera moved.
Oh gosh, please no.
Yeah, it's just your head.
It just happened?
I don't know. I just noticed it. Welcome to Knit Together with Kim and Jonna. I'm Kim.
And I'm Jonna.
And we are once again in a new location.
Yes.
Where are we?
Just, keeping it interesting, right?
Yes, exactly.
We are in Rhinebeck, New York.
Yes.
Yeah, in an Airbnb that one of our viewers rented. And, was looking for people to fill the rooms, and we said yes, absolutely. So it's a beautiful old white farmhouse with many outbuildings and quirks, and but a beautiful kitchen.
Yes, it's lovely.
And your bathroom is so cute.
It's so cute.
Oh my gosh, I want that bathroom.
The clawfoot tub.
Yeah, it has a clawfoot tub, but it also has like this farm sink. Like a washing sink, kind of? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So cute. And the tub faces the window, so you can sit in the tub and look out the window.
Yeah, except I was taking baths at night.
At 1 o'clock in the morning, so she was just like looking for bears or something.
I actually was. I was hoping a bear would meander by. It was kind of funny. But yeah, so we're in the house. We brought our husbands with us. So Jonna has, I guess technically the real master bedroom, right? Then I have another room here with a king-size bed. And then Amy, who rented the house, she and her sister are in a room with 2 queen beds, and then another friend, Sandy, kind of funny story, is in the other room. And okay, the funny story about Sandy is I didn't meet her the night we all got here. Maybe because did I go to bed early? I don't even remember why I didn't meet her. I don't know. I didn't. So the next morning when I come to make my coffee, she's in the kitchen. We're the only ones in the kitchen. And I say, oh, hi, you must be Sandy. And she says, yeah. And I said, where are you from? And she tells me, and she says, where are you from? And I tell her, and she said, oh, no. Then she said, because I said Westchester County, New York. And she said, but where exactly? And I said, and she said, I grew up in that town. And I said, oh, my goodness. And I thought we look about the same age. So I said, do you mind if I ask how old you are? And we're basically almost the same age. And it turns out we were not actually in the local high school together because she had gone to private school, but we know all the same friends. It was just crazy.
And I'm used to everyone knowing her because she taught preschool
in our town for over 20 years.
So everyone knows her, and besides her car.
And my kids all went to school there, so I even know the older generation. But anyway, it was just such a funny, small world, small knitter's world coincidence. Isn't the knitting world just really small, I feel like? Yeah.
And it's you feel that way at Rhinebeck too, because you see people from all over the world and people that you've made friends with, on Instagram or social media.
And then all of a sudden you see them IRL. Do people say that?
IRL.
Yeah, in real life, yay. But yeah, so here we are, and we have to say, apologize ahead of time. Our last 3 episodes have been in 3 different locations. We got used to lighting and the
air
audio.
Conditioning and
pick up every stitch. But then we filmed at McKinney Knittery, and there were quirks. And then we filmed at Knit Dallas, not too many quirks. And then here again, lighting in new locations. So just to get enough light, it's an old farmhouse. There is a lot of light in here, but there's also a lot of dark wood. So we have we're kind of in the kitchen. Did you say that already?
Well, I said kitchen and looked over there.
Yeah, the front door is over here. and there's like a living room behind. And so if you see glare in our glasses, we apologize.
It's fine.
If you hear
don't apologize.
people walking up and down the creaky stairs, okay.
It's okay. It's
Zip it.
People
Lock it.
always say, oh, you don't need to apologize for the garage door opening or your dad walking through the scene or whatever it is. I think it's cool, though, that they have a fireplace in the entryway and a bread oven.
Yes, there's a little
cool.
door behind Jonna,
built in the 1800s.
Yeah, behind my sweater, and you open it, and it's like these little brick holes, and Jonna said that's where you would cook bread.
Maybe.
Yeah, so fun.
I don't know.
I don't know why I chose to do this right now. Oops, and I.
She's on an increase round, and it's color work.
And 2 colors. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Let me just do this one more.
I don't know if we finished the intro here. So yeah, we're in Rhinebeck, New York, and we're gonna have kind of a regular episode, but also a Rhinebeck recap. Even though we're going to Rhinebeck again today.
Yep. So it's the Sunday of Rhinebeck.
Yeah, the Sunday of Rhinebeck. So do you want to talk about Rhinebeck first?
Sure, let's get it out of the way. So we're going to talk about Rhinebeck first, and then we'll talk about what we're wearing and our just quick about our finished objects and whips at the end, right?
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
All right. So my husband and I flew into New York City on Wednesday and spent the night there. Did a little shopping on Thursday morning, and then drove up to pick up every stitch in Mount Kisco for Road to Rhinebeck, which is kind of this is their second year of this event.
Yes.
Yeah, second year. It's now 2 days, so it's Thursday and Friday before Rhinebeck. And we saw, the store was super busy when I arrived. I don't know what time you arrived. She arrived a little bit late, and we'll go into that as to why here in a minute. But yeah, the store was really busy. The knitting posse was there. Kevin and Ray were there.
Rebecca was waiting for us. So I planned that I would get there at noon, and you were planning on getting there around 2-ish. And I was just running so late. And so I did text Felicia and Karen along the way and said, if anybody shows up, we're on our way. The event ran from 12 to 6.
Right.
So we
didn't. We were there until we closed it down.
Yeah, we did. We did. They had to kick us out. But yeah, so Rebecca, one of our OG fans, viewers, was there, I think, right from the beginning with her friends. And Felicia kept giving her an update. They're coming soon. You can't leave. Sit down. Can I get you a coffee? You can't leave. And she waited.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was fun.
I bought a vest at Uniqlo in the city, and I walked out with a security tag on it. And so we had to, and you can't take those things off. Evidently, bad things will happen. So we had to drive across town, and driving up and down the island of Manhattan is easier than driving across. It took us 30 minutes to get to Uniqlo. I had to run in, show them my receipt, get the sensor thing taken off, and then we drove up.
I didn't even hear this.
That's why we were late. She was late because she was doing me a favor, which we'll get into.
You weren't going to tell anybody.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Okay. It's kind of the saga. I've been having, I say that sometimes yarn and a pattern don't make a baby. Well, now there's this whole birthing process. Some things just fly off your needles, and it's like, no problem. You're like, yeah, I'm such a great knitter. And then other times it's like, you turn your back on the ocean. My parents would always say that, don't turn your back on the ocean. It's like you turn your back on your knitting. It's like, this birthing process sometimes is just arduous, and things just don't fly off the needles, and there's ripping back, and there's
sometimes you think you're finished and you have to shove it back in the womb.
I know, right? Exactly, which is what happened.
Rebirth.
Last episode, we'll continue talking about Rhinebeck, but last episode, I declared my Manhattan hat a finished object, and no, it was not ready to be born yet. It was not ready to be born.
Took another 24 hours.
I know.
And a few rip backs.
Yeah, it was an interesting process. So anyway.
Back to Rhinebeck.
Back to Rhinebeck. So we closed out the day there. I bought a couple skeins of yarn. We'll talk about acquisitions at the end. And and I went out to dinner with a dear friend who I hadn't seen in a long time. And while she proceeded to frog something that belonged to me at the dinner table.
Nice.
What'd you guys do?
So I was a little later than I planned on being. And I don't like being late. If I'm even a few minutes late, I'm late. I like to be early. But it was fine. I was keeping in touch, up to date with everybody. So at Road to Rhinebeck, Camellia Fiber Company was there. So we got to meet Sylvia.
Who's the new owner.
Yes, hear her story. She was actually originally just kind of the packaging, shipping administrator. And then when the originator of Camellia Fiber Company decided she didn't want to do it anymore, she offered the company to Sylvia, and Sylvia bought it. She agreed, but she had to learn how to dye. And
I can't imagine.
I know. I mean, it's just amazing. And since then, she has created a few more different bases. Yeah, I mean, that's a big learning curve. She didn't really know about fiber. She didn't know about dyeing. So go Sylvia, right? I just feel like you can recreate your life whenever you want, right?
It's Sylvia with a B?
Yes,
Okay.
Sylvia. Yeah, it was so lovely to meet her. I personally did not buy anything. I didn't have anything in my mind that I wanted or needed. But I can always get Camellia Fiber Company at Pick 'em Every Stitch, so yeah, I didn't need to. But it was really lovely. Kevin and Ray showed up, the knitting posse, Kate, Laura, and Kim, they were all there, right? Yeah, they were there, and it was, who else was there? Anybody else? I can't remember. It was lovely though. So, yeah. Then that evening, I think I just went out to dinner with my husband and went home and packed. I had not packed a thing yet. So then Friday, we had agreed to be in Kimberly McAlinden's booth at Cake Palooza. And she had put us on the guest list. And then we asked Jonna's friends from Germany were coming, and they were able to come as well. So George and I, my husband, were heading from our house, and Jonna and her husband and Anya
and Taralf met us at our hotel in the city at 7:30 in the morning, and we just loaded into the car. And the funny story is, so it's about a 2-hour drive from the city to Socrates, which is where the event was held. And about half an hour before Socrates, we stopped at a rest stop, and there's Starbucks there and bathrooms.
And we stopped at a rest stop. Can you guess what's going to happen?
And we get in line for Starbucks, and I said, I'm going to use the restroom. So I walk into the restroom and literally almost smack right into her. It was so funny.
It was really
and
funny.
then we laugh and we hug, and then the woman behind you was like, who are you, and can you get out of my way? And oh my goodness, it was pretty funny. So in that 2 hours, we managed to run into each other.
Yeah, it was not planned, and just really such a coincidence.
Yeah.
So then we headed up to Cake Palooza, right? So our husbands took us to Cake Palooza, and then they took one car to the Airbnb because we got permission to check in early. And then we just stayed at Cake Palooza.
And it was our first time. So last year we had thought about going, and we just drove right by because we knew it was pouring rain. So we went straight to the
event that shall not be named.
Shall not be named. And so this year, we had planned to attend, and it was just, I have to say, the weather since we have been here has just been glorious.
Perfect
not a
fall
cloud
weather.
in the sky, clear, cool, warm in the afternoons, cool in the shade. So, and it's an outdoor event. It's a completely outdoor event. Is that a church building? That white building is some kind of meeting hall?
I think that's their dye studio.
Oh, their dye studio, but it looks like maybe it was an old.
It's a big warehouse of some sort or a big building, like a simple.
It looks quaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the booths are set up around the building on the outside. It's a very small festival, but it was so cool because it was a small festival. We saw Max and Vincent from Lake Arson were there, and Julie Asselin was there, and I didn't know who she was until we were kind of all talking, and then I was like, oh, okay, that must be Julie Asselin. And Lucinda Iglesias from Montricot. And we ran into Amy from NE Knits, Knee Knits.
Yes,
so if
we
you
had
haven't,
never met her, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So I was so excited to see her. And if you haven't watched her podcast, I'll link it below. But definitely check her out. She's an engineer, so I feel like we have this kind of like the same kind of thought process about our knits. But she's an amazing knitter. She's just very sweet. Does a lot of petite knit. I guess we have kind of the same aesthetic. So definitely check out Amy from NE Knits, and NE is Northeast or New England or whatever you want to say, but she lives in the Boston area.
We also saw actually, I pick up every stitch, and I forgot to say this. And at Cake, we saw her everywhere. Beth McDonald Stone, who designed what I'm wearing.
Yes.
And my first big reveal, I wore it to pick up every stitch. And it's knit in, I'll tell you later, but Julie Asseline yarn. And of course, I got that from Pick Up Every Stitch. So it was so fun to wear it and see Beth. And we got a picture together. And there was another test knitter at Pick Up Every Stitch.
Yeah, and the three of them were wearing the same sweater. And I was like, is that the same sweater? And so it's interesting to see, the different color choices and
and even the gauge differences, because even though I got gauge, it just looks different when someone else knits it, right?
Yeah, the other one was very graphic and looked different. So they were beautiful. And I got to spend more time with Beth and get to know her a little bit better. So that was great.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And there were tears, if anybody wants to know.
The first moment she got to pick up every stitch.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be so teary, but seeing the boys and seeing the knitting posse and Karen and Felicia
and me, of course.
And you, and I'm absolutely not going to cry right now, but it was a little teary, so I recovered. It took me a while, but
one thing that was really it was really a beautiful fall day for Cake Palooza. Kimberly McAlinden's booth was kind of in the back near a photo booth kind of thing, and it was in the full sun, so it was nice and warm there. We took off our sweaters, and you were even in short sleeves or a tank top? I can't remember.
No, I wish I'd brought my tank top for the whole weekend, actually.
What were you wearing?
I wore my Nightingale Crescent.
Right.
Lucinda Iglesias was also wearing. She's the designer of it, so we took a twinning picture.
That was so fun.
Yes.
But if you went down around the side, when we did,
it was chilly.
It was under the trees and in the shade, and some of the vendors were really cold. There was this one vendor, of course now I can't remember her name. This one young woman who just looked like she was freezing, and I know, I was wearing my Orkney over my blouse with my Joji Locatelli shawl. So I felt so bad. I gave her my Orkney and let her wear it for the entire event until we had to leave.
I wondered why she was wearing your sweater. I did not figure that out. But.
So I loaned her my Orkney so she could stay warm during the event. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And I had some of the delicious cupcakes that they had there. And I did not buy anything at Cake Palooza, did you?
I did. I bought something at the Julie
Are you going to tell
Asseline
us now or later?
I think at the end, just because it's on the kitchen counter over there, so I'll go grab it when it's time for that. I didn't anticipate buying anything there, but it was so beautiful, I just had to. So.
And we apologize. I want to say this because you're going to tell me not to apologize.
Don't say sorry, yeah.
Okay, I'll explain. So the first few years that we went to these events, I took video footage. I brought my gimbal. I, in fact, did bring my gimbal. And especially because I'm in my film class, I was intending, in my mind, in my perfect little world, of taking footage. And I had a little notebook with me, and we always wrote down people's names. But because I don't see you that often,
you want to be more in the moment.
I really just wanted to be in the moment and enjoy this short, tiny bit of time that I get to have with you, and enjoy the event. And it's really hard to enjoy the event when you're filming and doing all these things and trying to write down everyone's names. So just so you know, if there are so many podcasters that take footage, and we'll have beautiful Rhinebeck recaps with all the beautiful footage, go and watch theirs if you want to see the pictures, because we won't do that. I just really wanted to enjoy my time with you because it's so short.
And I'm kind of always in the moment, and that's why I don't take notes and don't have all my doodads and don't remember people's names and don't write stuff down. Like people gave us cute
little things. Someone gave us this cute little bag of lavender.
I don't think I took one picture.
With some needle stoppers.
Yeah.
And I forgot who it was. So thank you so much. You can write in the comments who you are.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll probably remember driving home. The name will pop in my head. But that was Cake Palooza. And then what did we do?
We went we came here and dropped off our belongings and got ready for our next fun event, which was our timed shopping slot at a Woolen Affair. We're super lucky to get tickets, and we were able to get tickets for my friends from Germany, and so there were 6 of us.
Yeah, so actually the logistics of the driving and the cars, because originally they weren't going to go to all these events, so it was just the 4 of us.
Right.
So we could go, and then our husbands could meet us, or we could just take one car.
It actually worked out really well. Like we rented a fairly large car, and then our husbands stayed behind and worked. And then they arrived together. So Anya and Toralf and Kim and I were there together for the shopping.
Right, and then they came for the party.
And the shopping was in a tent. Last year, that tent was set up with like picnic tables, and it was room space for knitting.
It had been raining.
It had been raining. And of course this time, I mean, it was, the Rose Hill Farm is just a stunning location. Yes. It's something you see in postcards. We got out of our car and there are apples on the trees and pumpkins in the field. The sky is just that bright blue that it's only, you know, in the fall, and no breeze whatsoever, but just cool and beautiful. Anyway, it's a very bucolic setting. And all the shopping was in the tent. Mm-hmm. In a U shape, so it was easy to get through all the vendors. There was Sonder yarn, Mayak, La Bien-Aimée, Spin Cycle, and many others. Just a wandering flock. Did you see her table?
Yeah, gorgeous.
Oh, I looked like a unicorn exploded on it. It was just, oh my goodness, I need this unicorn yarn.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
And I was going to say something, now I can't remember.
And Kim said, I'm not going to buy anything. And?
Yeah. And last year, actually, there were only 2 vendors. Mm-hmm. It was just Mayak inside and La Bien-Aimée outside, like Brooklyn General, kind of La Bien-Aimée. The event is organized by Catherine of Brooklyn General in conjunction with Amy Gilles and Paula
from Mayak.
Yeah. So, I really didn't plan on buying anything at any of the events. And so it was just, we got to literally like the merch table. Yeah, the merch.
And then that resolution went out the window.
The merch table, yeah. So first I saw Spin Cycle yarn in their custom color. I'll show you at the end. So last year there were only 2 vendors. It was Mayak and La Bien-Aimée, you know, in conjunction with Brooklyn General. So this year, and they were right near the main building because it had been, Mayak was in the building and there was a tent outside for Brooklyn General, La Bien-Aimée. But this year, because it was beautiful weather, I'm assuming, and there were a lot more vendors. There were 9 vendors in all, right?
Okay. Right, because we had our passports stamped.
Yeah. So they were all in this lovely tent, and it was just really, really fun. So. And
I wanted to say, just for people who aren't familiar with the whole Rhinebeck situation, so surrounding New York Sheep and Wool that weekend, it's usually the 3rd weekend in October, Saturday and Sunday, there are all these satellite events. And so there's Indie Untangled, there's Cakepalooza, there's a Woolen Affair, and perhaps others, like Road to Rhinebeck from Pick Up Every Stitch. So, and usually the yarn shop in Socrates is open, the perfect blend. So anyway, these festivals that we're talking about are satellite festivals that occur at the same time as Rhinebeck, usually on the days preceding.
And what's really funny, I'm sure only knitters are watching this and they already know, but if you're somewhere in the world and you've just found podcasts and don't know, and haven't heard of Rhinebeck. Rhinebeck is actually a little town in New York, and the New York Sheep and Wool Festival takes place at the Dutchess County Fairgrounds, which is technically in the town of Rhinebeck. Yes. But knitters just say, are you going to Rhinebeck?
Right.
And most of the time they mean, are you going to New York Sheep and Wool? But then again, it includes now all these other satellite events, and 2 of them are in a town called Socrates. So anyway. So we were just reminded who gave us these cute
because it was one of the first gifts we received.
Literally the very first gift.
Yes.
And
I should have known because I ended up flinging mine and it flew in my mustard. Or no, the hummus. It flew into the hummus and I had to wipe it off.
Oh my goodness.
So that's how we should have known it. It was
so
from
funny.
here.
So do you want to come around? You can come behind us and right back here.
Amy is one of our Cable 3 members.
Yeah.
And she's the one who rented the house and invited us. This is Amy.
Yay, come on in. The sun, can you get a little closer? The sun is right in your face. There you go. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's
and
fine.
What are you wearing?
This is called Ilha, I-L-H-A. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but by Orlane Suka.
Okay.
And it's sort of like a ranunculus, but it has a little cable detail down
I
the
saw
side.
that. I saw that as you walked away. And instead of ribbing
that's broken.
Okay.
Staggered rib.
Okay.
I like.
And what yarn?
This is Camellia Fibers, CFC Flax DK.
Oh yes, I've knit in that before.
It's very soft.
And I knit in the same color actually.
Yay!
Yay! So we had just said that we didn't know who gave these to us, and then we took a little pause because there was some background noise. And was it Christy said?
My sister Christy is here.
You want to know who gave you those little sachets? It was Amy.
So we have an audience behind us. Behind this wall is another fireplace. My husband, Amy, and her sister, and Sandy, are all behind us. So.
Yeah.
There's 7 people in the house.
Yay.
So,
Yes.
like you said, chaos a little.
Yeah, but it's been so
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
We haven't, I don't think, and nobody's gotten into a fight. I don't think we've annoyed each other too much.
No.
But thank you so much, Amy. We are so grateful. And she actually, is it true you already booked for next year?
It is true.
Wow.
True story.
So we might be here next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so fun.
That'll be great.
So, so I got to the merch table back where we were. I don't know how we get so off track and then, anyway, you guys are used to it. So I see the spin cycle, and I have never purchased spin cycle. I kept saying after that, I'm a spin cycle virgin. And they had a custom color. I'll announce it in a minute and later and show it. And I just couldn't resist. And you got some too, right?
I did.
And then sitting next to it was another custom color of, what did they call it? Corey Crossing. And of course I bought a couple of those. And then when I went to check out, there was the event bag, the tote bag. And so I had to buy one of those. So we'll show actually the bag is right here, full of my goodies.
And what a beautiful logo they had.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Catherine hoped that this event would continue, so she, if you want to really get a nice logo, you hire someone to do it.
Sure,
so
that was a big investment.
Yes, a big investment in that logo. So now it's beautiful on T-shirts and on this bag.
Stickers. Oh, tattoos.
Oh, they had tattoos?
Yeah.
Really?
The black and white thing is a tattoo.
I had no idea.
It's not a sticker.
Oh, I thought it was a sticker.
No.
Oh, who knew? So yeah, it was really, really fun. I mean, I spent I spent more than I had planned right there at the merch table. So then we went down to see the vendors, right?
And they had a lot of games built in. So they had like a whodunit game, murder mystery.
Which I didn't do, did you?
I didn't, no. And if you wore and knitted the little wristband, you got a discount, 10% discount on some of the
I
merchandise.
think it was 15%.
Oh, was it 15?
I think so, maybe not.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
No, I think it is 15%, yeah. So there was that, and then they handed out a little, part of our goodie bag included a little leather tag, one of those ones that you see like on hats with the little grommets, so you could attach
Brooklyn
it to...
General tag?
You could attach it to your wristlet if you want, or a hat or whatever. And then they issued us a passport, and so if you when you visited each vendor, you got a little stamp in your passport.
And you didn't have to purchase to get the stamp.
No,
you could just
they were
visit.
happy to stamp your passport. And then there was a raffle, and several serious prizes were awarded.
Were
not
they?
to us.
Yeah.
Yes,
I wasn't
not to
even
us.
paying attention when they did the raffle.
Oh, okay.
So if you filled out your passport, you got a raffle ticket. And then there was also this, they called it a meet cute card. Meet cute. And there were 3 spaces to make new friends. And so when someone made the announcement on the bullhorn, or you could just go around and you would introduce yourself to the person next to you, and they would write their information on your card and you would write yours on theirs. And if you got 3 names and showed the woman with the megaphone, bullhorn, you would get another raffle ticket. So I didn't even listen for raffle announcements. And then when I was leaving, I started hearing them announcing a raffle. So I took my tickets and ran up and gave them to someone, because we were leaving. I gave them to someone at the event. Here, hope you win. I never win though, so you probably won't. Sorry.
And also a part of this event, there are several food trucks. They had campfires set up, and with s'mores, like chocolate and marshmallows and graham crackers. And there's also an evening of entertainment. So you can buy a ticket just for the shopping slot, or just for the evening event, or for both.
Yeah, but they're separate tickets.
They're separate tickets, and it's just a really, really beautiful, highly curated event that is extremely popular. So if you would like to attend next year, I suggest you go to...
Get on their mailing list first. Follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, and get the newsletter and any email updates so you'll know when tickets go on sale, because they were sold out
in
quickly.
like 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes. So definitely get on that list if you want to attend next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you, Catherine, for inviting us. And
Yes, it was so lovely. And we got to see Paola again, which I haven't seen her since Italy. I had accidentally left a sweater in Italy, and she kept it the whole summer, and she brought it home, and it was in Mayak yarn. It was hanging on the sample thing, and I remembered to bring it home finally.
And they have a full bar there. They have apple cider, the alcoholic kind and the non-alcoholic kind.
I waited
and
until
beer,
dinner.
wine.
I didn't want to drink a bunch of alcohol and buy even way more than I didn't plan on buying.
They have a little store, so I had some of the apple cider.
Oh, with local.
It was delicious.
Products.
Yes, local New York products. Yeah. So anyway, can't say enough good things about that one event.
Did you buy anything in the vendor tent? I can't remember.
I did not. I just bought something at the welcome table.
Okay. What did you buy at the welcome
spin
table?
cycle.
Oh, right.
And I couldn't. So people were snatching them up as quickly as they could unbox them. And so then they had packages of 5 skeins that you could open and choose a skein that you wanted. You got 3 skeins. Well, some of them were more pink, some of them were more green, and I couldn't decide, so I bought
a packet of 5.
A packet of 5.
They did tend to put them in packets together when they were more similar. So it was, right?
Right.
Less
I guess I
choosing.
wanted less variation. I wanted them to be more similar.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I did too. I got 3 that look similar.
And since then, I've found a pattern that I think would be perfect.
Oh, okay. You gotta tell us later.
Yes.
So again, I wasn't planning on buying anything from the vendors, but as soon as I got in there and I just saw how much hard work, it's so much hard work, getting your products there, setting up, you're there the day before, setting everything up, and they're on their feet for hours. Actually, in this event, did you know this? They worked in between shopping times an hour break for the vendors.
Nice.
So the people who were just shopping would leave, and then they would have a break that they could eat, drink, go to the bathroom, and then the next group would come in.
Yeah, because oftentimes at these festivals, we come across some of the people that we know who vend, and they're like, I haven't had anything to drink. I haven't been able to use the restroom. Can you get me a cup of coffee? So, yeah, that
was really nice that they did that. So the first thing I saw at one of the little booths was actually nothing knitwear related. It was a cute little, looked like an antique pillow.
Oh, so cute.
Vintage pillow with flower embroidery on it, and I immediately wanted to buy it. I didn't buy it immediately, but I did eventually buy it, and it's actually in the car, so you won't see a picture of it or see it, but it's really cute. And then as I went by the Mayak table, I was reminded I did not buy the yarn I intended on buying during the retreat in June, because when I heard that morning that Jonna's father had passed away, I just kind of wasn't in a shopping mood, so I ended up not buying yarn at the retreat. And so I immediately thought, oh, I want to buy that yarn that I intended to buy. So I did buy that. I'll show you later. And then I really realized, if I'm going to shop, I mean, all the events are amazing, but I decided really to do my shopping there because I want this event to continue and I want it to be successful for those vendors. So I did make one other purchase at the Sonder Yarn booth with Melissa. Yeah. And she had pulled out this sample to show somebody, and I touched it and I said, oh, what is this? First of all, what is this design? Second of all, what is this yarn? It was absolutely
and the color too,
to die for.
Yeah.
So I said, what is this? And she said, well, it's this, but I said, do you have another? She had kits before, which were sold out, a lot of them, and she had one left where the packaging was damaged, and I said, I don't care, I'm taking it. So that was my last purchase there. We'll tell you what it is in a minute.
Yes, and I am trying to get this right and not having any luck. So I'm looking at my phone. But Jackie and Carmen were working in the booth at Sonder.
Yes.
And the name of their podcast, and I know what it is, but I want to say it correctly.
We didn't write it down, so it's not. Oh, there
Thank you. It's called Knitting a Good Yarn.
Amy is our Karen and Felicia
I know,
today.
right? We call them like the Wizard of Oz.
I think we need our audience back there to help us. Knitting a Good Yarn.
Knitting a Good Yarn, Jackie and Carmen. And look at their podcast. And they're from Canada or up that way. And I'll link their Instagrams too below. But it was so fun to see them.
Yeah, we met them last year, the first
their
time.
second kind of festival experience. And they're just this lovely, lovely, down-to-earth people. So anyway, we'll link their podcast below.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, knitting a good yarn.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Carmen.
Hi.
And Carmen knit this beautiful lavender sweater. I think that was on the cover of Lina Magazine issue 22. Maybe I'll link that pattern below and put in a picture maybe, but hers was just beautiful.
Yeah, so that was that. Did you buy anything at the vendors? Did I ask you already?
No, I did not.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Tempting. A Wandering Flock had that, unicorn fluff. My friend Anya bought a skein.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so then we found out for the last group of shoppers, they had decided that we didn't have to leave. Originally, we were going to leave, and we bought a separate parking ticket for the party, but they told us that we didn't have to leave. So that's when we contacted our husbands and say, why don't you guys just take the other car and come and meet us here? And they did, and then we had a fun party.
Yeah, we did. It worked out well.
Yeah, the food was yummy. I had a lobster roll. Both my husband and I had a lobster roll, and then we shared half a kielbasa.
I think John had a hamburger, and I had the vegan chickpea curry, which was yummy.
Yeah.
With sweet potatoes and
And we saw Jackie Rose there.
we did.
And we also saw Kilt Man. We see him everywhere. He was one of the
Hi, Doc.
first. Yeah, hi, Doc, aka Dean and Kristin, right?
From a Cozy Knitter.
Yeah.
And we'll link her Instagram below.
And he always wears a kilt, and he always knits his own sweater and he had different sweaters for the different events.
And he actually designed the sweater and knit the sweater.
Amazing.
That he was wearing.
Lovely, lovely, lovely people. I mean,
Yes. Yes, so that was really fun. So if you see a man at Rhinebeck wearing a kilt, you can say, hi, Doc, and ask him about his sweater.
And ask him for a lollipop, a Tootsie Pop.
Oh.
He keeps
carries
them in
around
his
Tootsie
little
Pops. Oh, who
like
knew?
fanny pack bag. Yeah.
Okay, all right, good to know.
Yeah, so that was really, really fun. And yeah, that was it.
Then we came back here.
Yeah. And then Saturday.
Saturday is the big event, the main event. I tell people it's the Super Bowl of knitting. What time did we get there? Around 10?
Yeah, 10, 15.
Yeah, and it was. I brought several things to wear in my bag because it was chilly in the morning. But like I said, no breeze, super sunny, and in fact, I was in the Sawkill Farm booth, and it was crowded. And I looked at my husband. I said, I have to get out. I have to get out. And I was wearing my Celeste sweater by Petite Knit. It's knit and snuff nug. It's very comfortable, but all of a sudden I was like, I am too hot. I need to get out. So I ran outside. I grabbed my Nightingale Crescent, and I kind of went behind the building and shimmied out of my clothes and discreetly put my Nightingale Crescent on, and I felt much better. So.
And it was just a lovely, beautiful red color, and
Yeah.
then it was easy to spot you in the crowd. Because not a lot of people were wearing that shade of red.
Right, that bright red.
Yeah.
And it was funny, someone mentioned to us that it was difficult to spot us from afar because Kim's hair is not pink or purple.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Oh, I'm not
And
supposed
my
to
hair
apologize.
and my hair is
It's
so
different.
much shorter. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
Remember last year, didn't somebody say, I had already left or I was not with you? And somebody said they saw you, but they saw you with
A man.
This man. And they
This
didn't.
man.
So they said, it can't be Jonna.
Yeah.
But she is married. She has a very tall, handsome husband.
Yes,
so
yes, and he was there.
Yeah, they were both there. Our husbands were there.
Oh, I have to tell a funny story. So we had arranged to be on the hill at 2 o'clock to meet viewers. And my husband was taking pictures, and I think he was pretty tickled. He thought it was pretty cute. And one viewer came up to meet us, and she was wearing a Knit Together with Kim and Jonna t-shirt.
Yes!
A white t-shirt, which
It's
is
only the
black.
second time we've seen our t-shirt on.
Hi, Pat. Pat has one that's in color, but this one was in black and white. And she came up to us and introduced herself, and we chatted, and we took a picture. And my husband, it was so funny, thought that she had the t-shirt made. He didn't know that we sold the t-shirts on our website, because we really don't talk about it too much. The website itself is kind of hard to manage, and we're just bad salespeople.
Actually,
But-
someday we want to change our merch site. So if you have any recommendations. Also, I think it would be nice to have merch pre-printed and we own it. And then we can have some at Pick Up Every Stitch if people, not that people are going to
That's
buy
true.
it, But I don't know, take out that middleman. I think it would decrease the price as well.
We did hear that the quality was excellent, though, and she was very comfortable in it.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, it was so cute. I was like, no, honey, she bought that from our YouTube channel. So anyway, that was cute.
It was really
So thank
cute.
you to everybody who came up and said hi and introduced themselves, took pictures. We got to hear, people from all over the country and all over the world, and so many people expressed their condolences about my dad, which was just really touching. And again, we're all grieving something, whether it's a pet or a parent or whatever, a change of circumstances, and grieving perhaps leaving their beloved home in the Northeast.
Don't even go there. We're going to start crying again.
No, but we are in the process of looking for another home. So yeah, we'll be splitting our time, which was always the plan. So
good.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny. Someone at some point this weekend before Saturday had said, I had mentioned something about being on the hill. If you don't know what on the hill is, there's just a hill behind the food vendors.
Literally a hill.
And under some beautiful trees. The colors are always changing. It's a great place for photos.
People watching.
In the shade. And usually designers, podcasters meet their viewers or their fans, their followers there. So I was mentioning to someone and someone said, I heard that the hill isn't really a thing anymore.
Oh.
And I was like, well, we aren't really like cool or a thing, so we'll just be there and meet the people who show up.
Oh, funny.
But can I tell you, it was insanity.
Yes.
There was so many people, you couldn't even see the grass anywhere. So it's still a thing. Everybody out there.
And it was funny because my husband did attend Rhinebeck last year on Sunday, but on the Saturday, it's just like a parade of beautiful sweaters. And he kept noticing the framed sweater by Andrea Mowry.
Yeah.
He's like, why are there so many of those sweaters? That's that sweater again. I really like that sweater. Oh, but then it's in a different color. And so I had to explain, every year Andrea Mowry designs a Rhinebeck sweater. This year it was the frame sweater. And let me tell you.
Hundreds.
And to see her and to see the group picture that they take on the hill, it's just, it's really something.
It's really inspiring.
It
really.
is. It is. It's very sweet. And I can't imagine as a designer to see all the different iterations of your design, because some people put the patterning on the shoulders, some people didn't, some people had like glitter yarn or sparkly yarn on the shoulders, and all different, like some a muted monochrome,
high contrast.
Yeah, it was just really, it was really, really fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, to sit out and
another
people watch.
Yeah. So I thought Jonna had already left, by the way, when the evening before at the party, and I'm standing outside and I see the grocery girls, and we've met them a couple, like at least one other time for sure. And I just wanted my husband to meet, I think some of the most famous podcasters out there.
Definitely well
So I
known.
grabbed my husband, I pulled him over, and I walked up, and they were talking to someone at first, but when that person left, I was like, Jody, Tracy, I just want my husband to meet you. I told him, I'm like, you are like the goddesses of podcasting. And they were very, so sweet talking to us, and they asked about you. We talked about that a little bit, but we actually saw them again on Saturday, and we got to take a picture with them. Yay. And then, funny thing on the hill, I'm standing there, and this woman, sweet German woman, comes up to me and says, is your sister here today? And I said, my friend Jonna. And I looked at Jonna, and I literally saw the grocery girls, like a little group behind me. I said, I bet you think I'm a grocery girl. I said, I am not. My name is Kim. And I pointed her in their direction, but it was fun. I got to speak German with her a little bit. I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name.
Well, you and Jody have similar hair.
Yeah, it was just cute. It was really
So
fun.
if you haven't watched The Grocery Girls, I'll put them in the show notes below. So Jody and Tracy have The Grocery Girls.
Yeah,
they're up in Canada also.
Yeah, they're lovely.
They do some designing and podcasting, and they do retreats now, cruises and things. So yeah, and they do work at a grocery store.
I heard now it's not actually really. Anyway, I asked them something about it, and it's maybe not. It's another iteration of the grocery store. And,
cool.
But anyway,
So
they're
an upgrade.
They're the grocery girls. So that was really, really fun to see them.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? So the hill was fun. We met so many people. We didn't actually make it over. We saw Kevin and Ray. We saw the Knitting Posse. It was so crowded.
It really was.
So we kind of put our bags down and stood in one place. We did actually, when we were finished with our little time slot, we went over and got a picture with Carmen and
Jackie?
Yes. So that was fun.
I want a picture.
Yeah, that was really fun.
When I wasn't with you, I ran into Nora, aka Nora Knits, who lives on a small farm in Connecticut. She has a podcast. I'll link it below. And she is just the sweetest. And I saw her from afar, and it's funny, she talks about her boyfriend in her videos, but she doesn't name him. And so he was there with her. I said, I just know you as the boyfriend. And she was wearing her Beatrix cardigan that she just finished. And it's in a lovely shade of brown. And it's knit in lamb's pride with a strand of lace weight alpaca. And it is, I always think when I pick up the lamb's pride yarn, I'm like, oh, it's kind of scratchy. Like, I'm not sure I could wear this next to my skin. But it was actually just fine. So maybe when you block it, it really, there is a building it's the same building that the Sauk Hill Farm booth is in. And they have big, huge plastic bins of lamb's pride.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and people are just rummaging through the bins. I like her podcast because she sometimes thrifts her yarn. So she always talks about how much her yarn costs. And, she'll buy things, and then it's interesting to think about her pattern process and what she might use that yarn for. Just a super interesting podcast. She's lovely. She's also a singer.
A singer, right, yeah.
And so she is singing in the intro of her podcast. And she's also a hair stylist. Yeah. So, and she just
so
sparkly
talented.
And so talented. And,
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm so sad I didn't get to see her.
I know.
And you saw someone else when I wasn't there, but I can't remember who. Anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah. And we were all waiting in line for the Brussels sprouts. And if you haven't had the Brussels sprouts, you should wait in line. However, if there are two of you, one of you should wait in the line to pay. The other one should wait in the line to get. Just FYI, because they're both super long. But I turn around and Jackie Rose is in the line, and a cozy knitter, Kristin and Doc, her husband, and so you must get Brussels sprouts. Last year we had them with Amy Palco and Rebecca Clow. Hello,
Yes,
we
we missed you so much. I kept communicating actually with Amy, and she's like, I wish I was there. And so she said, give Jonna a hug. So yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, it was fun to remember. That's another fun thing, is when you're there, you remember all the other years that you've been there and all the lovely things that you did. So we did that. I did not wait on the Brussels sprout line. I looked for the shortest possible line and waited on that line. I got a chicken pita. It was delicious. And then Jonna already had a bag full of stuff. So when she got her food and arrived at the table, we gave you our seats. And then my husband and I took...
You did a car run?
Yes, we took some of her belongings her purchases to the car. And then after that, I ran up really quickly because I wanted to see Kim McBrien Evans in her booth. I had gone there earlier and she was so busy. So I went back just to get a quick picture with her and say, hi, I love her of Indigo Dragonfly. You all know that I love her already. And so then we met over by the cider donut shop.
And let me just tell you, we watched people in the line. It literally took some people an hour and a half to get a cider donut. They make them, they're hot when you get them. So yeah, if you want one of those, get in line early. And then we had a member meetup. And hi, Tara from Kansas City, and her beautiful daughters who all knit and wore stunning sweaters. So we just sat in the beautiful sunshine and swatted the yellow jackets away from the sugar.
And it was really the first time, other than to sit down and eat, that I sat down the whole time and actually knit a stitch.
You know what? We forgot to talk about what we're wearing. We'll do that afterwards.
We'll do that later. Yeah.
Okay. And then we wrapped it up. Our friends Anya and Toralf met us, and it was so interesting to hear about their impressions of Rhinebeck. After you make such a big deal out of it and you invite them, you obviously hope that they have a great time. And so we got to hear about that over dinner. We went to Gigi's Trattoria in Rhinebeck. And let me tell you, if you're a gluten-free, that is the place to be. I had gluten-free. I had a taste of my husband's gluten-free meatballs. He had gluten-free pasta. I had what I always have, which is just a salad with chicken on it. And the food was delicious. What did you have? I couldn't remember.
I had, my husband and I shared a Caesar salad, and then I had tagliatelle bolognese. I couldn't resist.
Bolognese.
I needed some comfort food. I was really tired. I didn't sleep the night before. I don't sleep well. We're not going to talk about this, but I don't sleep well when I'm not home. So I just wanted to like sit and eat some yummy food, and I did.
So it's Italian, Mediterranean. Somebody had lasagna.
We sat outside under a tent.
Somebody had, is it porcatini? Is that how you say it?
I don't remember.
And gnocchi, and someone had pizza. Yeah, it was delicious. It was, we sat outside underneath a tent. They put out, those little propane, not little, they were quite large propane heaters. They turned one on, cranked it up. All of a sudden, we all rip our sweaters off. Ah! I was actually wearing the Nightingale Crescent underneath my Celeste sweater. So anyway, then we saw Beth McDonald Stone again. She walked in and had dinner.
With her friend Priscilla.
Yeah, we had such a nice dinner.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then it was this morning, setting up for this
morning.
podcast. We didn't even say what we wore at each event. So at Pick Up Every Stitch, I did say I wore this. This is my Sargasso Boxy Raglan. And what did you wear at Pick
My
Up?
Emsworth vest by Isabel Kramer.
And then Friday, what did I wear Friday? Oh, I wore my Sotto il Sole shawl made with Mayak, because I was going to go to the Mayak event that night. Designed by Joji Locatelli. And then because it was chilly, I wore my Orkney. Love my Orkney. Love it. And then what did you wear on Friday?
On Friday, I wore my Celeste sweater in the evening, and I wore the Nightingale Crescent earlier on in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yesterday for Rhinebeck, what did you wear? The same. In the morning, the Celeste, because it was...
Correct. I wore the same thing.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't really matter.
How much knitting this year?
She had plans. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, yes.
She had plans,
I had plans to wear something else, but...
And yesterday, what did I wear?
You wore the Quince dress, the linen dress.
Oh, my Jonna dress?
Yeah, the Jonna dress.
Oh, and I wore I was thinking, because I've never knit for Rhinebeck. I just wear something I've made in the last year. What haven't I really worn anywhere? I only wore it once to Vogue Knit Live last year on a day I wasn't feeling well. So I sat in the balcony of that one vendor area, and then I just went to the room and slept because I was not feeling well. My Light by Georgia Farrell Design, which is
it was perfect.
one of my all-time favorite sweaters, and nobody else was wearing one.
No.
And I just loved wearing it all day long. And it was warm in the sun. I tried to find shade to stand in, but I was comfortable all day. So
Good.
yeah. And then Georgia saw some of the pictures, and she messaged me later that day. She said, "I can't believe you're wearing my design at the biggest fiber event of the year." It was really sweet. Yes, Georgia, I love it. And people did come up to me, "What are you wearing?" Yeah, it was really fun. So now we're done with Rhinebeck weekend, right?
Yep.
Okay, what are you wearing?
I am wearing, and I did not knit it, but, and here's another Jonna-ism. So sometimes yarn and a pattern don't have a baby. Sometimes a sweater needs to find its owner. You know, sometimes you knit something and you're like, well, I don't know, if it doesn't fit me, I'll give it to somebody. So this sweater was knit by my friend Anya from Germany, her mother. And her mother just felt like, once it was completed and she wore it, that it just wasn't her. She wasn't comfortable in her skin in it, I guess. And so she gave it to Anya. And Anya was like, it's just not me, would you like it? It's like, oh my goodness, I'm not sure that I can accept such a...
This weekend she brought it.
Yeah, such a, we all know how many hours go into knitting a sweater,
I mean, has anyone ever knit you a sweater? No, right?
No. But of course, in my heart of hearts, I really did want to accept such a generous gift. But, and I think about when I want to give somebody something, I would hate for them to decline or say no because they felt that, it was too generous. So I accepted this generous gift from Anya, my sweet friend. So it's the Olive Cardigan by Knitting for Olive. And there's a lovely peach-colored one at Pick Up Every Stitch, a sample. And it has a double knitted button band. And it is, in fact, knit in Knitting for Olive merino and soft silk mohair. Yes, and I have no idea what size it is. And I probably will, she put the buttons on sort of temporarily. I probably will swap them out for like a tortoiseshell. But oh my goodness. Not only all the feels, because someone gave it to me, but it's just a very luxurious, beautiful sweater.
It is.
So, and I need more cardigans in my life. So that is what I am wearing.
Wow, it is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I was kind of secretly hoping it wouldn't be your style either and it would come to me. No.
There is definitely some ease. Like I said, I don't know what size it is, but It's super comfortable, and the sleeves fit me perfectly. So
And I
it was
feel like-
as if it was made for me. So maybe sweaters have to find their person.
And I feel like you did wear that at some point this weekend because people kept commenting, what is that sweater? Even in pictures. I don't know when you put it on at some point. Oh, maybe part of Saturday. Did you wear it?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. But people commented, what is that
I was
sweater,
worried it would
Jonna?
be too warm. It's actually quite warm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, the Celeste sweater I wore, people kept asking what it was because it looks like it kind of looks like an Icelandic sweater because it's knit in Kamarose Snefnug, but it's a Celeste sweater by Petite Knit, knit in a totally different gauge and totally different yarn, and it's very monochromatic, so the colors all kind of blend together. So I think that's a difficult sweater to recognize. Yeah.
I think maybe you put it on at Cake Palooza when we were in the shade.
Oh,
And when
maybe.
we took pictures, people were wondering. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but everyone said, what is that sweater? I didn't hear Jonna talk about it. They would message us on Instagram. Jonna never talked about that on the show. And I said, yeah, because she just got it as a gift.
Yes.
So, yeah. And I have to say, it was lovely to have Anya and Toralf
It
here.
really was.
I got to speak German a lot.
Yes, I know.
And make a lot of mistakes. And I learned a lot of new words. My favorite phrase in German is, wie sagt man das auf Deutsch? Which means, how do you say that in German? So if there's a word I don't know, there they are right there. I don't have to look it up. And I can say, wie sagt man Light auf Deutsch? Which I do know that word. But I learned so many new words and how to say it. We kept trying to see if there was a German version of some of the American idioms.
Like
phrases.
quirky, dorky,
Yeah.
awkward,
Yeah.
which is what we are. So another story about Anya. She is shy, like I am, and at Vogue Knitting Live, I had seen Jackie Rose several times, and I said to Kim, I kept pointing, "There's Jackie. There's Jackie," and Kim's like, "Do you want to meet her?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to meet her."
No, but she was like, there she is again. Look what she's wearing. Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, there she is again. Oh my goodness.
She's so glamorous.
I just wish I could be like her. Oh, there she, it was like really. So the very last day, it was the Sunday, we're standing kind of near the escalators and there she is again. And there's nobody around. And she says, oh, there she is again. And I was like, okay, that's enough.
Kim just grabs my arm. She said, "My friend Jonna wants to meet you." I felt like I was like in 4th grade.
Sorry.
So suddenly she was there, and she's just more beautiful on the inside than she is on the outside, can I just say? And so we had a sweet conversation, and
I did that to Anya
so
this week.
she did that to Anya this weekend.
A couple times.
Yes, and I kept saying to Anya, "Do you want a picture?" No.
Do you want to meet Vincent?
Max and Vincent, no. But we ended up meeting them. Yes, and oh my goodness, they were behind the table. Julie Asselin and Lucinda were vending, and they were behind their table, and they came out from behind the table.
We like waved at them.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
gave us hugs and met Anya, and just so generous with their time. So, so Anya did end up meeting Jackie Rose, and in fact, Jackie, who is a poet, and Anya is German, Jackie asked Anya to read, and I'm not going to say the name right, Rainer Maria Rilke poem in German to her.
Aww.
And so they had that experience, and then Jackie wrote her a sweet thank you message.
Did?
And she showed it to us. So it just was like, I can't even tell you. I think Anya would say, if I know her well, she would say it was a dream. It was just a dream. So.
And they actually went to the hill. Again, she's very shy, and she really doesn't want to, intrude or interrupt people. Or
But they loved sitting there.
they
and
just sat there, and
watching.
people watched for hours. They said,
It was amazing.
So
So we do talk a lot, and we do put in timestamps underneath. So if you want to hear only about the FOs and the whips, then just click the timestamp below. Of course, we told you that about an hour in, but if you're a regular viewer, you know that.
Exactly.
So
Everybody knows.
yeah, do you want to talk about FOs?
What I'm wearing first, but people know, I think, already.
Did you not? We held this up in Dallas, I thought. Or were you not quite done?
I wasn't done.
Oh.
Yeah, so I am wearing my Sargasso Boxy Raglan by Beth McDonald Stone. I was a test knitter, my very first test knit. It was a lovely experience. I finished in time. And like I said, I wore it at Pick Up Every Stitch, and Beth came and we got to take pictures together. I'm not going to explain all the details, partly because this is a Rhinebeck video too, and we just, I talked a lot about the process in episode 27, 2 videos ago. No, I did not.
28 at Knit Dallas.
28 at Knit Dallas. Yeah, I don't know why I thought 27 was in we filmed it in May. I said I was going to talk a lot about it today, but I'm not going to. It's very straightforward. It is boxy. You basically cast on at the neck and do just regular rib. There's a few short rows in the rib and in the back, and then you start your color work. And the raglan increases are just lovely. Someone contacted me because they started knitting it and they had questions about exactly. You have one stitch between the two stitch markers, and you never do anything but knit that raglan stitch, and on either side, outside those stitch markers is where you do your increases. And she tells you exactly, which color to knit them in and how to do them, so that's really helpful.
And you pick up the bar of the color of the stitch that you're increasing.
You actually, in this one, you can't because it's too, you just can't.
So this is mosaic knitting, not
yeah, it's
stranded.
mosaic, yes. I forgot to say that.
So go ahead.
But yeah, you don't do that because there might not be that color even nearby.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, it's very clear and straightforward. And what makes it boxy is you increase on the sleeves every other row, which is traditional, but on the front and back, you increase every single row.
Okay. So the body grows faster than the sleeves do.
Yeah. So it grows wide. And I did the 3/4 sleeves like she has in the pattern, bracelet length or whatever. And I heard afterward that she did that because she was running out of yarn. Someone made a beautiful long sleeve version. It's gorgeous. And I absolutely love it. Julie Asseline Fino in the colors Shetland is the green, yellow tang is obviously the pop, cobalt is the blue, and lupin is the purple. And the yarn is 75% merino, 15% cashmere, and 10% silk. And it is so glorious next to the skin, deliciously beautiful. And as I said, when you're holding the sweater, it feels heavy, but when you're wearing it, it doesn't. It's light and airy and really, really lovely. And I did do the split hem as it calls for. This is what it was. When we filmed episode 28, I wasn't finished, but when I edited, I put in finished pictures because I was finished by then. But it has a beautiful split hem. The back is to be 1 inch longer than the front. And I was knitting away because I do both at the same time and forgot to stop. So my front is only a 1/2 inch shorter. But it's just beautiful. I love it so, so, so much. And again, you can do high contrast, low contrast, but it's just, and it was a quick knit. I knit it actually really fast.
Wow.
So that's my Sargasso Boxy Raglan. Thank you, Beth. It was so fun to see you wearing it. Yeah. That's it. Now we can do finished objects.
Okay. I only have one, so this will be quick. And it was meant to be a finished object. I declared it a finished object in episode 28 because I only had like 8 rows. So that morning, if you don't know, we drove to Knit Dallas and it was still dark. It was like 5:30 in the morning. We drove because we filmed before the store opened. So she was driving, I was knitting on this in the car. It is very, very, very dark brown yarn. This is Walcott Origin in the color Beaver Dam. And I declared it the squishiest, most amazing yarn ever. And anyway, so I'm knitting knitting away in the car, and I said, I just have a couple more rows. We'll just call it an FO. I've made like 6 of these. This is a Manhattan hat by Tori Yu. It's knit in a worsted weight, and I knit the size medium. It comes in many sizes from baby, and I've knit the baby ones through adult sizes, and it's knit on a US size 6, and you can knit it inside out or right side out. So I always knit them inside out with knitwise decreases. And it's a 1x1 rib all over. And I do knit the one that you can fold up and keep your ears warm. Just if you use more than one skein of yarn though, just know that you are knitting on the wrong side so that make sure your yarn ends are on the other side. So that when you turn the hat right side out, they don't show. Oh, and look, I have maybe it's not quite an FO. Oops, I have actually worn it. So we get home from the shoot, and I don't know what else we did. Anyway, I was cooking dinner it was about dinner time. And I sat down, I said, okay, I'm just gonna finish the hat. And
you did the Kitchener at the top.
I did the Kitchener on the hat, turned it right side out. I'm like, it's finished. Well, I did the Kitchener after I actually decreased a stitch because I had the wrong stitch count, but I was like, who cares? I was off a stitch. Turned it right side out. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. There's a drop stitch about 8 rows down. I had already Kitchenered. I had already cut my yarn.
And even like we always say, we all make mistakes in knitting. You can knit for 30 years like me and make mistakes in every project.
I probably just
every mistake is a decision. Is it do I need to fix it? Is it structural?
Right.
Or can I just leave it? If it's under the arm,
right.
you're missing.
But obviously, a drop stitch is integral to the construction of the garment or whatever.
Yeah. So that when you got there and you had the wrong stitch count at the top, that was a decision
because I had dropped the stitch.
Nobody will notice.
Right. Exactly.
So you kitchened her, but then later you saw the drop stitch,
Which
and it was
why
hanging
I had
out like
stitch count. Yeah. So just sticking out. I was like, oh wow, okay. So at that point, I was like, I'm so over it.
And you were going to cook dinner.
I threw it on the table, and and all I had, because I didn't know I knew you were coming at some point, but I didn't know exactly when. We didn't want to eat out, so I had bought heavy whipping cream because she likes heavy whipping cream in her coffee, and opened up the freezer. I had a bag of frozen peas. I had pasta that I had bought,
lemon juice or something,
and and chicken stock.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made a yummy dinner, and she ripped out my Kitchener stitch, ripped down to the drop stitch, and then after dinner I did finish my Manhattan hat by Tori Yu. So this was a hard birth process of it. So anyway, very glad it's done. It's like I said, I'm like my 6th one, and I bought at Pick Up Every Stitch more of this yarn to make a couple more for Christmas gifts. So it's a great knit. I actually cast this on when my dad was in the hospital. I just needed something to knit round and round. So anyway,
I think you mentioned at one point, so finishing it brought some closure.
Yeah. So
it wasn't an easy process either, but
no. So anyway, that's my FO.
Cool.
Yep.
So my other FO is behind Jonna, so she'll hand it to me in just a second. I was working on it. It's the other way.
We're sitting on bar stools, so I'm going to try not to fall off.
Oh. Yeah. So I did finish my outline tee. I was knitting it. It's a super quick knit. It's by Jessie Maid, and I just love it. So you basically cast on, it's twisted rib. We realize it's half twisted rib, right? Mm-hmm. I never knew until you just told me recently.
And it's not all that stretchy.
Right. Same thing as on the ranunculus. I just always called it twisted rib, but you're only twisting the knit stitches.
Not the purls.
A full twisted rib would be knitting twisting the knit and the purl stitches. So anyway, I have never done truly twisted rib. This is half twisted rib, and then you finish the rib, and you have a stitch marker at the center front. No, is that right? I think so. And then at the side seams and at the back, center back. And then in one of the rows right after the ribbing, you know, a certain amount, I think it might be 4 or 5 stitches before the marker, you bind off a stitch and then you do a yarn over, and then you do that on either side of the stitch marker in those 4 locations, the front center, back center, side seams. And then you just knit stockinette all the way up. The neckline is just a raw neckline, like there's no finishing to it. And it's not really
It just rolls naturally.
Yep. It's not a, what do they call that? An I-cord. It just rolls. And then you finish. There is some short row shaping to the shoulders so that they have the slant. And then when you get to that row where now you're going to drop your stitch to make the laddering effect. So it's basically a dropped stitch that you just let it ladder. The thing you don't want in your, I'm going to say a word people don't know, pantyhose. Remember when you used to get a run in your pantyhose and it would like run all the way down your leg?
And I used to put nail polish on the run so that it wouldn't run.
Yeah. Usually you don't want that to happen, but Jessie is like so modern. Her designs are so modern and so fun. I know a lot of people have done this, but I just loved it. So right before I dropped my stitch, I made sure that it was lined up with.
We did hear a story about someone who did that and their stitch wasn't
in the right
bound
place.
off in the right place.
And it went right through the ribbing. Yeah. Oops. But mine were in the right place, and then you do that. You don't actually then pull them out then. Then you do the 3 needle. Oh, no, you do. So you release all of them, and then you open them up, ladder them all the way down because it grows a little bit, and then you do your shoulder seams with a 3 needle bind off. And then you just cast on these little tiny ribbed sleeves. I mean, they're not even, you don't do any real sleeves. You just cast on the rib, do that again, and there it is. And I love it, and it fits me beautifully.
Yeah.
I intended kind of to wear it this weekend, but then I really wanted to wear my light sweater, so I didn't. So I'll probably wear it maybe in the next video if I don't have a new FO. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh, the yarn is Sandusgarn Lena in pink. I don't think they name their yarns, their colors, do they? This is a number. 4626, I think. There's a glare on my paper, so I don't know. But yeah, so that's it.
And you wear it with a kind of like a white t-shirt underneath. It looks really cute.
Yep. Can we pause for just a second?
Mm-hmm. Okay, if anybody needs
anything. Need a break or anything? Yeah, this is totally off. Look, the camera moved.
Oh, gosh. Please, no.
Yeah, it's just your head. I just saw it.
It just happened?
I don't know. I just noticed it.
All right.
Okay, is this ever going to be over? So yeah, we were kind of holding the other what would you call them? Let me start over.
Housemates?
Housemates.
Hostage.
So when we took the break because we realized the camera was moving. Oh my goodness, seriously. Okay. We are the most amateur podcasters on the planet, but it is what it is. So again, we hope you had a good laugh about that. Jonna is going to talk about her whips quickly.
Yes, quickly. So I cast this on in episode 28. It is the Adamson Vest by Ray Yamamuro for Woolfolk, and it's knit in Woolfolk Yarn 2, which is spelled T-A-G-E, that I actually purchased online from Knit Dallas. They have a really great website, so if you want to order online, and they have a great selection of Knitting for Olive and Woolfolk and many, many other yarns. So anyway, I don't know. You know, you see something and you're like, I must cast that on. So I bought the yarn and I jumped right in, and we kind of were happy that maybe my knitting mojo has returned.
Yeah. Wait, you were finally inspired to knit again.
Right.
You saw this and you wanted to knit it.
Right. Okay. So this yarn, I have to say, it's very soft and fluffy. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful color. You know that I read somewhere that mink is the color mauve plus pink. But mink can also be the color of a mink.
Right, the
but
animal.
Anyway, so I think about this as mink, so it's kind of not mauve and not pink. And it's 70% merino and 30% mohair. It does have like a cord in the middle of the yarn that isn't flexible at all. It has absolutely zero stretch. And this is super fluffy yarn, and it is, and you can see it maybe on the back a little bit better, it is definitely not uniform. So there are like clumps,
slubby,
bigger,
yeah.
It's slubby, big clumps of fuzz, small clumps of fuzz. But I will warn you, it has absolutely no give to it. That said, the knitted fabric, of course, has give. So I cast on, and it was my swatch, of course, as you know, as I do, and then realized that my gauge was off. And so my gauge was too small, so I knew the garment was going to be too big. That's how I always remember that. So I was off by about 2 stitches per 4 inches. So I decided at that point, I cast on the size 3, I went down to a size 1, adjusted the stitch count so that underneath the arms, I was at a size 1. Mm-hmm. And then I also, in the meantime, started another project and was really interested in knitting that, put this down, and Kim was kind of in between projects, and she said, hey, let me just pick up where you left off, and you know, maybe you can wear it in time for Rhinebeck. So that was kind of my plan, that I would wear this, and I bought a cute black blouse, and so neither of those things happened.
She FedExed it to me.
I did, and it arrived, and she worked diligently on it, which is why she was late to
pick up every stitch
for A Road to Rhinebeck. And she actually did the ribbing. So she did the ribbing according to the directions. And we've kind of talked about it before.
Changing the needle size, doing the twisted rib.
It calls for full twisted rib, so twisted knit and twisted purl. But I told her, no, absolutely not. Do not twist the pearls. That actually decreases the yarn. It decreases the width between the stitches, and it just tightens everything up. So beware. If you follow the pattern, definitely give that a thought before you know, if you made something a little bit more oversized, you might not have the same problem.
And you're also supposed to go down 2 needle sizes.
Mm-hmm. Go down 2 needle sizes. So I would suggest doing one or the other. And I would suggest only doing the half twisted rib, because honestly, you don't see the twisted purl stitches anyway. So
So I went down 2 needle sizes because I'm just following the pattern. Now, if Jonna had been knitting this at home, she would have tried it on multiple times.
I think I would have realized she also has she's a tighter knitter than I am.
I tried to match the gauge, but I just inherently, and I'm in a hurry.
Right, exactly. So I think she was kind of knitting it as you would normally knit it. So I was able to get it over my head. I was able to put it on.
Yeah, I thought it looked cute, but it didn't feel how you wanted it.
I felt self-conscious.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my goodness, there's no way we're going to be able to frog this yarn because, your needle tip gets stuck in some of the fluff. And so, it's not easy to frog. But my friend Claudia sat there at dinner that Thursday night and frogged the ribbing.
Frogged the Italian sewn bind off.
I know.
Which we also shouldn't have done.
It takes a village.
Yeah.
Right? Because that didn't have a lot of stretch to it either.
No, it didn't. And I tried, but the yarn, once it's in place, it sticks to itself.
Oh, yeah.
So it
Super
won't,
sticky.
like a normal yarn, there's flexibility because the yarn can kind of move within the stitches, but this, none. It just does not move. It's lovely, but it's
like locked in tight. So I was able to get it back on the needles, get all the stitches untwisted, and decided to go down to the US size 4 for the ribbing. The rest of it is knit on a 6. And just do regular 1x1 ribbing. So that's what I did. And I'm almost done with the 3 inches. And I'm going to just do a regular bind off, just kind of loosely in pattern, which is what the pattern suggested. And then the only thing I'll have left to do is the ribbing around the neck and around the armholes.
Yep, it's beautiful.
And weave in all these ends. So you basically knit a little bit of the back and then the left front and the right front. You join everything in the round at the V underneath the arms. And it has this beautiful eyelet detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I love, which is what kind of drew me to the pattern.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and I just wanted it in that color. So you know how you just get hung up on a color. I was hung up on blue, and I'm hung up on this minky mauve pink situation, as you'll see in my next whip. So let me see. I think that's all I wanted to say about this. So this will definitely be an FO for the next podcast.
Nice.
So yeah.
The next, I already have plane tickets to fly to Texas in November. So I'll be there.
Did I know that? Yeah, we talked about it.
Yes, we talked about it. I hope we did.
It's in my calendar.
So I only have one whip. There's a little saga about this, but I really don't want to talk long because we want to try to get to Rhinebeck. So I finally cast on my Soldatna by Caitlin Hunter, Boyland Knitworks, in my Wollonvine kit. The colors, it's Wollonvine Smitten DK, and the colors are, there they are. Grim is kind of my main color, Revenge of the Harpsichord, Courtesan, and Deadly Nightshade. So I cast it on. I did do my gauge swatch a while ago and got it to gauge, And I just am so paranoid about knitting too tight, especially a stranded colorwork project, that up to a certain point I still had gauge. I did all the, I'm knitting, I think, the size 5. I'll talk about this in the next episode, but I did all the short rows it calls for, and it looked funny. It has what you would call a funnel neck. Like almost like a hump in the back. And I was like, okay, when I wear it, the weight of the sweater,
that'll block out.
Well, when I tried it on, you didn't really notice it.
Yeah, and it's superwash.
Right. And so I just was gonna leave that. Then I start the color work, and I got to a certain point, and my gauge was fine because I went back and measured it. But then I was so trying to not make the strands too tight that my gauge got bigger and bigger. So then when you cast on the underarm stitches, you cast on 15 under each underarm.
Wow, that's
a lot, and it's kind of a big gauge.
Yeah.
So I did it, and then I knit maybe a third of the body, and just realized it's ginormous. So I tried it on, and it would have been, for me, I didn't want it. It's supposed to have, I think, 1 to 4 inches of positive ease. And so I think I'm a 44. I was making like a 40 to 52 or something like that. And it was going to be over 60 inches. So I took a deep breath and I said, nope, I'm ripping it out. And I contacted you. It really didn't take me that long to decide. And I just ripped all the way back to the ribbing because I like the ribbing. And then I was able, first of all, I changed all my color placement. So we'll talk about that more in a future episode. But I didn't do like color A wasn't always where color A is supposed to be. Color B, I mixed it up because there's not a lot of contrast between, in my dye lot, of Revenge of the Harpsichord and Courtesan. So if they're next to each other, you really don't see, it's hard to see. So I decided to switch it up. Anyway, So when I started again, I fixed the hump in the back. I only did 2 sets of short rows. A lot of people leave them out. And then I also decided I wanted to try to do a jogless stranded color work Fair Isle technique. So I used Patty Lyon's video, and I'm trying it, and it seems to be working. So I could fix that. I also had already placed all the colors. That took me a long time in the first iteration. So now I can just knit it and relax and not try to make my gauge too loose. So this is my second. You can tell I'm not very far. And while we were now filming, I just made a mistake on the entire row I just knit. So I'm going to tink or unknit as we sit here and finish. And that's my only whip.
And you'll see, if you see someone wearing a saldana, it is obvious, there is an obvious jog down the center back.
Yeah, because the yarn color changed the end of row, or beginning of round is in the center back. Yeah.
And because it's a circular yoke, because it was large, I think a raglan kind of falls, if it's oversized, it falls in an attractive way. But in a circular yoke, when it's too big, it just grows and grows, and then it just looks like you're wearing a tent, because there's absolutely no shaping with the raglan.
Yeah, and then superwash yarn doesn't typically have a lot of memory, so, and it tends to grow. So I just thought if this is starting out before blocking at 60 inches. So anyway, I'm starting over.
All right. So this is my whip number 2. Just want to make sure that.
What happened?
I dropped a stitch.
Grab that stitch.
I know. Oh my gosh, this is not good because it is a charted pattern. So
at least you noticed.
I did. Well, and it's been in my bag. I haven't touched it since we've been here. I knew that I was not going to get this finished in time because it still needs sleeves and whatnot. I do have handy cable stoppers.
There you go.
Thank you, Amy.
Oh, while you're mentioning that, I forgot to mention that at yesterday at New York Sheep and Wool, Sarah, this is the 3rd year she's brought us yarn cozies.
Cozies, yeah.
Yes. And so she came right up to us on the hill. Thank you, Sarah. So this is my 3rd yarn cozy. You basically just stick your ball of yarn in there and you can just pull from the center and it keeps it all together. But maybe I'll pull. No, I don't have one here. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so this is my Woodlark sweater by Lena Holm Samso, who was also Le Knit on her patterns. That's her company name, Le Knit. And this was another just, oh my goodness, I saw this on Instagram. I was like, okay, we must cast this on. And I had already purchased at Knit Dallas a quantity of knitting for olive merino and soft silk mohair. The merino, I believe, is mushroom rose, and the mohair is rose clay. And again, it's kind of minky colored, pink and mauve. And it's got this all over texture, which is basically just a 2x2 rib, so not intimidating, but I definitely put stitch markers for each of the repeats because I did not want to go back and fix any mistakes. So I know right away when I've made a mistake. So you do cast on at the back of the neck and knit the back, put that on hold, knit the left and right front. Again, that's kind of the same construction as the Adamson vest. And then I'm just about to finish the body. It has ribbing, but it's actually just, you continue in the pattern. In
So
a 2x2.
before that, it's 2x2, but it's like traveling ribbing, right?
It is.
Yeah, it obviously shifts to make these
But
chevron.
there's no twisted stitches. It literally is just basically 2x2 ribbing. And the pattern repeat is you do the same thing for 4 rounds. So I have it memorized now, and I can easily go back and fix anything that I've messed up. But I can't knit this and talk at the same time.
So when you get to the rib, you stop traveling it. You stop moving it.
Yes, and so it's just 2x2 rib.
Nice.
And there's no shaping, so it's pretty straight. It's pretty generous and oversized. I will go back at the end, and the pattern suggests that you do a 2x2 rib and do a folded neckline, but I think I'm just going to do like a mock turtleneck. I think that it just looks. I saw a project, of course, on Ravelry that I liked, so I'll probably do that. And then I'll pick up stitches for the sleeves, and the sleeves are very bell-shaped. I don't know if they just lack decreases or if there's actually increases. I think there might be increases. And it is charted, it is not written out. So just keep that in mind. A super simple chart though, because no increasing and decreasing. So very easy to read. X's and O's, as they say. Yeah, it's got big giant bell sleeves and continues in the same pattern. And I just thought it was super contemporary. It's funny, I'm beginning to kind of, what is my style in knitting? We've talked before about maybe something you want to knit, you don't necessarily want to wear. Something you want to wear, maybe it's boring to knit or whatever. But I think I am leaning towards more contemporary designs. Yeah, so that is my Woodlark sweater by Lynette. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Did I say everything?
Yeah.
I think so. Okay. I don't know what size. I think this is also a US 6 needle. So not too small. And then it ends up being a DK weight because of the fingering plus the mohair. So, yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can't wear it in Texas now anyway, so.
There you go.
It's okay.
So acquisitions, the first thing I bought at Cakepalooza, the only thing I bought at Cakepalooza besides a cupcake was a big ASS bag. We just have this thing in our family. We spell certain words. Anyway, Shayla Jones of Black Pearl Magic makes these bags. And actually, I saw people with these bags last year and knew that they had gotten them at Cakepalooza. And so as soon as I saw one, I had to have one. So I love my big ass bag. I said it. And I'm just so excited about it. It's so me. And then you ended up carrying it around for me a little bit, right?
Which was obviously not it didn't go with anything I had.
Not your aesthetic.
Everyone knew it was Kim's bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not your style.
But now I'm kind of having bag envy.
Oh yeah, it's really fun.
It would be nice to put everything in it.
Why don't you did you buy anything at Cake?
I did, but before that at Road to Rhinebeck, I just picked up two more skeins of the Walcott Origin. So this will be a hat for my mom, and you know that this is like a really in color for fall 2024.
Oh really?
Like this kind of aubergine, I don't know, this is a kind of a pinky burgundy,
kind of raspberry.
Yeah. So those will be hats. Nice. Because I'm obsessed with the squish. So
Nice.
this is non-superwash. 50% Argentinian merino, 50% fine Highland wool. Yeah, you got to go squish some if you can. This is called Hippie Heart and Ponderosa.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then what was next? So Cakepalooza, did you buy anything?
I did. I didn't intend to buy anything,
Of course not.
I stood there and looked at the beautiful Julie Asselin yarn.
Oh, she has new mohair.
Yes, and so to continue on with the minky theme, I bought, this is the base Anatolia. It's 50% kid mohair, 40% silk, 4% lurex. So this has a rose gold lurex thread in it.
And all of these mohairs have, the different colors of mohair have the rose gold lurex
thread.
Yes.
And it is also a mauvey pink color. And I was like, oh man, this is beautiful. And at first I thought, what if I cast on a yoke sweater, like even a ranunculus, and made it into a dress for the holidays and wore like a rose gold slip underneath it, kind of on big needles, big gauge. But I've since dialed that back. Yes, I would love to have a dress someday, but I have several patterns that suggest using, holding mohair double.
Oh.
So I bought enough to do that.
Nice.
So I think I might just make a big ass sweater.
There you go. It's just going to be the theme at the end of the end
Big
of the
ass
video.
sleeves, just something luxurious and for the holidays.
Nice.
I don't have anything shiny, so.
Hopefully I can get the lurex in the pictures will show up.
It's
really,
I didn't intend, like I said, to buy anything. I bought 10 skeins.
It's really beautiful.
Yep.
Love it.
So
Okay, so
That
the next was
next was a
a
woolen
woolen
affair.
affair. Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you know, at the merch table, I bought the bag. Yay! Not that I need another bag. And then I got, you can hold up yours because we both got this. This is the Deep Thoughts special colorway for, this was for, yes, it says a Brooklyn General exclusive. It's Spin Cycle, 100% American wool superwash sport weight. And I also got the pinky shade.
And there were some that were more green, some that were more pink, and I ended up getting all 5 skeins. They had them bundled in sets of 5. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, and the pattern that I was going to suggest for this, for me, it's called the Mariana sweater. And it is escaping me, the designer, but maybe we'll insert a picture. I'll send it
I can
to
also
you.
put it in the caption. So look in the captions.
So it's a floral yoked sweater.
Oh, nice.
So I could do like a beige, because beige, and then this
The
color
spin cycle will do the work.
Yeah, and it's like a rose garden.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Love
from
it.
Rose Hill Farm. So yeah.
And then right next to that, they had Corey Crossing, and it was spun for all 3 events, for the for A Woolen Affair, Indie Untangled, and Cake Palooza. Sorry, getting a little distracted.
Oh, it is beautiful.
It's a beautiful color. It's very pink, and it was let's see, spun by Bat and Kill Fibers and dyed by Alyssa of Cake Wool Co. By the way, Alyssa, we looked for you at Cake Palooza. We couldn't find you. We wanted to say hi and just thank you so much for an amazing event and hosting, Kimberly McAlinden, and we could be in her booth. But it's really beautiful. So I love it. Did I say that it's
beautiful?
100%. Oh, it doesn't say.
Corriedale.
Okay. It's a 3-ply sport. There we go.
It's beautiful.
So I got that at the merch table, and that was it for my merch purchase. Did you get anything else there?
I did not. Everything else came from Rhinebeck.
Okay, so I will finish it out. So then, as I said, I went to the Mayak table and I bought their newish Fior di Lino. It's 50% Tibetan cloud wool, 35% baby yak, and 15% Italian linen. Now, when I was at the retreat, I thought I would buy pink, but then I got home and realized I'm just gonna make a pink sweater over there. So when I was there, I decided to buy this denim color, and I might do a salty air tee or some sort of short sleeve thing like that, but I love it. I have more skeins than this, but I was so happy to finally buy it.
It's a beautiful color.
Yes, and then it'll be cute with blue jeans or, And then the last thing I bought, I told you.
It'll be cute over your linen dress.
Yes, exactly. Is the design A Simple Affair by Sonder Yarn Co. Melissa. And this is the one that she brought it out to show somebody else, and I just fell in love with it. And I saw the one in this glorious orange color. And this was the last kit. And there's actually 2 versions. There's a fingering version and a lace version. And both of them you hold mohair. I got the lace version. And so this is enough yarn. It's a kit. So 1 of these in lace and 2 of these, and you hold them together and you knit this beautiful, drapey, soft, just luscious shawl. So I can't wait to do that.
I love this burnt orange color.
Yeah. So this is Haven. I think this is a new yarn maybe for her. 75% Falkland Merino, 25% BFL. So that's the lace weight. And then this is Halo, 72% mohair and 28% silk. And this is the color Siren. I'm assuming they're Affair to Remember. Oh, that's nice. A woolen affair, Affair to Remember. Yay! So I love it. Thank you so much, Melissa.
I was very, very tempted.
Gorgeous. So that's it for my purchases, my acquisitions. You're next.
So I did buy something at Rhinebeck, and my main goal was to buy something for a cabled cardigan. So I'd love to do a cabled cardigan episode. I don't know if we'll get to it, but there are several great new cabled cardigan patterns out. And I downloaded or purchased a few of them, and I've been inspired by Nora of Nora Knits, aka Nora Knits, and she made the Beatrix cardigan. And then I have also purchased one by Lena Holm Samso. So I was on a mission to buy some brown worsted weight woolly wool, and I made a beeline for Junction Fiber Mill and found this beautiful brown and bought enough. And I bought an extra skein just in case, because it all comes from this batch. I didn't want to run short. So Junction Fiber Mill, it's also carried by a Woolly Thistle online. Is a small batch wool processing mill in the heart of White River Junction, Vermont. I was like, WJR, what is that? 100% Northeast USA wool. And this is a heavy DK weight, so light worsted. And this is a BFL blend. It says licorice, but it's definitely brown.
It's brown.
Right, okay. So I bought several skeins of that for my cabled cardigan. And then, of course, I went over to Sawkill Farm just to squish and just to look at their beautiful colors, and decided to buy some t-shirts for my grandsons. They're brothers, aren't they cute?
So cute.
Yeah, so cute.
Little pig and a little chicken on
I
there.
know.
Red Hook, New York. Love
I
it.
know. So anyway, that is it for my purchases.
Great.
Yeah, and so today I do want to stop by Windsong Fibers, Windsong Farm, which is in Building C, but I haven't yet to locate them. I just want to do the squish.
And I didn't do any of those barns yesterday
hangers.
because we didn't have time. I didn't do, is it ABC and what do you?
Yeah, Bare Naked Wool was just slammed.
Long Island Yarn and Farm is there. I didn't get to see Tabitha.
What's the one that makes a color changing yarn that looks like Spin Cycle? Feederbrook Farm is there. It's always just packed in that booth.
Yeah.
So let's go to Rhinebeck.
Yeah. One more thing. I have one favorite thing, and this is just a prediction or a hope, a wish for next year. I've seen this, last year we saw the two girls from Espace Tricot. What are their names again?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
Melissa from Sandra Yarn Co. used to own Espace Tricot, but now it's been taken over, and they do have a podcast.
Yeah.
We'll link it below.
And they designed and wore this beautiful folly skirt. It's knit in,
And a worsted weight, which is surprising.
well, it's knit in Corey worsted, which actually isn't worsted weight. I think
There
it's
you go.
DK. Yeah, I know. I always thought it was worsted weight, but somebody
Okay.
corrected me. I think it's DK, but it's worsted spun
Worsted
yarn.
spun,
Right.
right.
And they were wearing them last year. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. I can't remember. I wonder if there's a copyright date here.
And they're just beautiful.
2022. It was 2 years ago. And I have just wanted to make this stranded colorwork skirt since then, and I have made myself a promise. I don't have the yarn because a lot of people can make it out of stash,
Right.
like ends
And
of
scraps and leftovers.
scraps, right, which I don't really have. But I am going to make this folly skirt and wear it at Rhinebeck next year.
Okay.
I really can't wait. So that's my favorite thing
All right.
this time is the folly skirt by Espace Tricot. Yay, that's it.
And my favorite thing is that Anya and Toralf came from Germany.
Yes, it was lovely. And you're going to go visit them in December.
I am. We're going for all the Christmas markets. So super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to
Like and subscribe.
comment. And yeah,
This was so fun.
Jonna said that's a Kim-ism. I kept
is
saying it this
totally.
weekend. This is so fun. And she said,
Fun. We
"Oh,
need to get a t-shirt. So this is so fun.
we should. And we said yours should say, sometimes yarn and a pattern, ...
Don't make a baby.
Don't make a baby. But if people see you from the back,
I know.
they're going to think you're
It's just weird.
anti-family.
I'll have to think
Don't
of
make a
something
baby.
else. Right. Don't make a baby. Yeah.
So, yeah, we apologize for the technical glitches. I am going to apologize because it was just weird as the camera's going,
At least it was weird, funny. Funny, weird.
But we realized, thank goodness, and didn't end up just hearing our voices and a picture of the
Right,
ceiling. But thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you for your patience over the summer as we took a much needed break. And it was so lovely to see everybody at Rhinebeck, and
really
we'll see
was.
them again today. And
Okay.
that's it.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to knit myself a sweater, a sweater that will keep me warm at night.
Well, and we're far away off the ground. If we drop a yarn ball,
It's like, bye.
game over.
Welcome to
Why not?
Knit Together with Kim and Jonna. My stomach's growling, sorry.
All right, if you need to cough or sneeze, now's a good time. Such a generous.
My stomach is really
Gonna make it